Hey there, Heather. Ho there. It's Jeff Cutter-Diamond. Welcome you to yet another Stone Cold Hockey 1974-75 NHL thing, including the Flyers. We have 96 points, the second most in the NHL, behind those pesky Montreal Canadiens with 115. We are fighting the Islanders for the top in the Patrick Division and the bye into the quarterfinals. Rangers have the third place spot in the Patrick by 8 points over Atlanta, who are catching quickly. In the Spike division, it's a three-horse race between Vancouver, Chicago, and St. Louis. Minnesota and Kansas City can't catch for the playoffs. The question is, who will have the Smite division spot and all that? 72 points is a lot, but I mean, the Rangers have 76 and the Penguins have 79, and they're miles ahead of them in the points thing. The Prince of Wales and the Adams, the Buffalo Sabres, have a bit of a cushion, a 12-point cushion on Boston. They could almost smell taste the finish line to win the Adams and to get a bye in the quarters. Boston would have to go to the playoff. Toronto right now, 16 games below 500, but they are third in their division. It's the top three teams per division, which will piss off Atlanta fans and Detroit fans because they both have more points than the Leafs. In the North, Montreal's won it. LA holds a 6-point lead on Pittsburgh for that seed. Well, second place, it doesn't really matter, I don't think, but points do matter. Goal scoring, Reggie Leach is second behind Danny Grant's 51. Phil Esposito third. Rick Martin fourth. Guy Lafleur fifth. Rick McLeish is 13th. I see Clark Gillies with 35, which is shocking for a rookie. Points wise, Marcel Dion had like a big lead. Now the points lead is down to 5 with Guy Lafleur third. Reggie Leach is 13th, but yeah, it's amazing. Dion thought he would win it, but Clark keeps getting assists. Penalty minutes, Dave Schultz has 405. Brian Watson for Detroit second. Moose DuPont 236 for third. Yeah, Brian Watson's 240. If you add that to Doug Riseborough's 167, that's just ahead of Schultz. Anyway, goes against Dan Bouchard holds a 198, 17, 10, and 7. It's actually shocking. It's like he's looking good, but Phil Meyer just looks terrible. Ken Drennan second, Rogie Fashon third, and goes against Chico Rush fourth, and of course our own Brady Brown is fifth. I'm looking at the numbers and all that. It's weird how Cesar Menango and Gary Simmons both have 5 wins, but they have better goals against than Jim Rutherford, who has won 18 games for the Red Wings. Standings wise, lots of teams have played 69 or 70 games or 71. No one's played more than 71, more or less than 69. We have 11 games left because it's an 80-game schedule, so we do have a game in hand on the Islanders. Nothing really. Vancouver, Chicago, and St. Louis by point differential. Doing all that, so nothing really changing. We are 24, 6, and 4 at home, 19, 10, and 6 on the road. But 19 wins on the road is pretty good. Only Montreal has more wins on the road than we do. Highlights wise, lots of hat tricks. John Protocol was the 52nd and last hat trick. And all that. Memorable games. Boston, Washington from January 7th. From Boston was up 5-2 and choked, getting up 5 more straight goals. That's number 1. Vancouver, Montreal, when Vancouver was up 4-0. Goals by Olofsson, Body, Monahan, and Tracy Pat. Mario Tremblay, Yvonne Lambert, Yvonne Cornway, equal point, and Jacques Lemaire scoring goals for Monahan. And Montreal's 7-5 win over Detroit on January 8th when they were down 5-3 and won 4 straight goals. Our best game is against Vancouver, November 21st, when the Canucks were up 3-1. We are now facing the Kings and Bernie in the net against Gary Edwards, who's the backup to Rogie, but they give Edwards the start this time. So yeah, the Kings trying their best to be second in their division. Philadelphia in the lead. So anyway, the Flyers looking pretty good. Wayne Stevenson and Bobby Taylor are backups. LA has Bob Nevin, the former Leaf and Ranger. Mike Murphy, future Leaf head coach. Dan Maloney, future Leaf head coach. And you're thinking, oh, Kitchener? Nope, that's Dave Maloney, not Dan. Dan played for London. Butch Goring, who was traded to the Islanders and had that big helmet. But the trade to the Islanders for Dave Lewis, that was the first major move and what we call the trade deadline move. The original. Juha winning from Finland, or was it Sweden? I think it's Sweden. Bob Barry, future head coach of the Habitants. Tom Williams, Frank St. Marcel, I coached him with the Blues. Dan Klosak, Bob Murdoch, future head coach of the Jets. Mike Corrigan, Gene Carr, former Blue. Terry Harper, former Habitant. Nate Kowalski, Sheldon Kankiser, Kitchener. That's true. Larry Brown, not the basketball coach. Vic Vananeski and Dave Hutchinson. The Flyers with Reggie Leach at right wing, the Riverton Rifle. Rick McLeish, pretty good player. Bill Barber, Kitchener. Bobby Clark, the amazing captain. We have Ross Lonsberry, Bill Clement, who did commentating for ABC. Gary Dornhofer did it for CBC, and Moose DuPont. Fada scored a game-winning goal on NBC, but that was Rick McLeish's goal. Bob Hound Kelly, Ernest Kinderchuk, Don Selesky, Big Bird Selesky, Tom Blades Blado, and Dave the Hammer Schultz with the colorful nicknames. Terry Crisp, coach of the 1989 Stanley Cup winning Flames. Jimmy and Joe Watson, Larry Goodenough, Ed Van Imp, known for his powerful hits, especially against Farley Hellenroth. Ted Harris, Bob Sawar, Sergio Suarez, and Jack McElhaney. 4 minutes into the game. It's Hutchinson. Did we take advantage? No, Clement. Couldn't do it. Much later. Blue die for the road team, red for the home team. Perfect. LA takes a couple hits. Delivers a couple hits, and no score through 20 minutes. 3 minutes later. On the Kings. It's Nevin. Did we take advantage? Dornhofer? Fuck. That's the image. Oh, how? How are we fucking this up? Double hit. Double hit. FLYERS. Bob Nevin, his 25th from Maloney and Komodowski. It's 1-0 Kings. Much later. Bill Clement. No shot. And we're down 1-0 after 20 minutes. 4 minutes later. Selesky gets whacked by Kangizer. They kill the zone on Barber and Kinderchuk. Among others. And Schultz. Rick McLeish. 2 minutes later. They score. Juha winning his 27th for Butch Goring. 2-1. 5 minutes later. They take a chance. Gene Carr. No. Any tie. Clark. Oh. Aggression. We need to score. But St. Marcel scores from Murdoch and Nevin, and we lose to the LA freaking Kings. Oh, my God. We can only score 1 goal on Gary Everts. How? Well, that sucks. We lose to LA. Montreal beats Atlanta. Good news for the Rangers. Our next game is against Washington, but of course, because we lost or tied, we have to simulate the next game. LA goes into Minnesota and crushes them. Cupcakes shut down Vancouver. That's something we don't need. Pittsburgh beats St. Louis, and we tie Washington. Bobby Clark scored to tie it, but we could only tie Washington. How the fuck did we do that? Well, our next game must be simulated. Atlanta beats Toronto. Pittsburgh crushes Cal. Kansas City can't win. Well, the Islanders were going to win anyway. Montreal beats Boston, and Vancouver beats the Rangers. Yeah. Buffalo beats the Rangers. Chicago beats Detroit. LA crushes St. Louis, and Minnesota crushes Washington. Atlanta beats Vancouver, and Cali beats St. Louis. Big win for Cali, especially in the Smite division. So our game against Minnesota has to be simulated. Boston beats Washington. Rangers Detroit tie. Kansas City loses to Buffalo. Pittsburgh LA tie. Toronto goes to Montreal ties. Islanders win, and we tie Minnesota. Damn it. Menigo Perron. We were up 2-0. Leach and Barber scoring. Leach finally gets the fifth goal. But Dennis freaking Hextall, Ron Hextall's uncle, tied it. So our game against Montreal must be simulated because we tied. Buffalo beats Cal. Detroit shuts out Chicago. Islanders beat Minnesota. Rangers beat Boston. We beat Montreal. Ken Dryden losing to us. Bill Clement made it 1-0. LaFleur tied it, but Clement and Leach scored, and we win 3-1. We beat Ken Dryden. We beat the Habs. St. Louis Vancouver tie, and Atlanta beats up on Washington quite easily. The Leafs beat California. Yeah, we go to Vancouver. I guess we go out west. Kansas City 7-1 on Minnesota. Wow. Denny Herrera, Pete Lopresti. Norm Grant scored. Robin Burns again. Paymont, Hudson, Nole, Paymont, and Paymont with a hat trick. Oh, that's their 8th win. Montreal doesn't do us a favor. They tie the Islanders 3-3. This is our third game, right? Yes, it is. Okay, so we got Bernie in the net against Ken Lockett, the backup for Vancouver. Gary Smith not playing today. Bruce Bullock also playing. Canucks have Don Fat Lever, Johnny Gold, Jerry O'Flaherty, Kitchener, Dennis Banvergard, Leo Rochford, Paulin Boudreau, Bobby Lalonde, Andre Boudrias, Chris Olifson, Jerry Monahan, Bob Daly, Greg Bodie, Ab DeMarco, Tracy Pratt, who is the son of Bay Pratt, I think. Ron Cito Bauer, Kitchener. Look it up, people. Mike Robitaille, I think he was a Kitchener Ranger too. I think they have 3 Kitchener Rangers. John Grisdale, Dennis Kearns, Bob Murray, Harold Snaps, a young Harold Snaps, Barry Wilkins, and Jim Meyer. Watching the game, we were hitting it Lever. And we go to Western Canada. Up to Marco, no. Much later. It's Tracy Pratt. And we can't score. Leach fails. And a chance for Bladed, no. No score. Well, we have more ties than we did in real life, so we can't, get right there. Vancouver has more ties than they did in real life, too. No. Actually, for Philly, it is Selusky. Yo! And they're there! Philly Steelers, McLeish. McLeish is 36 from Terry Crisp. No time? No. 5 minutes. Educated? Steelers, sunny days. He just got his 9th of the year. Clark's now got 83 assists, you know. Lonsberry also assisted down on Broad Street. Big Bird with his 9th. 2-1. More time. Last moments of the period. Gary's gonna be penalist. Hammer, of course. Come on, dumbass. Rochefort. Oh. We killed the son on Boudrias. We did it. For now. The hit goes Monahan from the alien leader. Monahan. Monorail. But we don't say that. 4 minutes later. Aggression. And a chance for Steelers. So Riverton rivals 52nd from McLeish. It's 3-2. We're back in the lead. Much later. The Steelers! Oh no, bodies from Luger Bodies from Luger and Oakland. Oh great. Oh great. We tie Vancouver. Great. So the next game, when is our next game? So we're in California AA. We can't play the Golden Seals because we tied. Atlanta shuts out Detroit. Buffalo takes on Chicago. We win 3-1. Perron over Melange. Clark, DuPont, and Barber. Kitchener with the goals. Hercusy for Cal. 30 goals. Toronto. Oh, Kansas City wins 4-3. That's how bad Toronto is. When they lose to Kansas City, Heron beats 5-0. Toronto goes by Stoughton, Lanny, and McKinney. Casey goes by Rhoda, Croteau, Sharon, and Sharon. The immortal Guy Sharon. Over 700 games in the NHL without a playoff game. Rangers beat Minnesota. Montreal beats Pittsburgh. Boston beats St. Louis. And LA beats Washington. So our next game, Atlanta beats Buffalo. Cali beats Washington. The battle of the hopeless teams. LA shuts down Vancouver. Our next game is against Chicago. I think we have to. Yeah, I think we have a double dip against those guys, right? Yeah, we have two against Chicago, and then we have to play the two New York teams, and then Atlanta. We have 5 games left, and yeah, we go to Chicago. Pittsburgh, Detroit tie. LA beats up on Vancouver. Montreal puts a 10 spot on KC. Cupcakes win, which wasn't good. St. Louis beats Minnesota, and Toronto beats Boston. So with that, we have 3 back of those pesky Islanders, and we only have 1 game in hand, so we're in trouble. Rangers are only 3 points up on Atlanta. Oh man, Atlanta's creeping for that playoff spot. Vancouver, Chicago, St. Louis is there. Vancouver up by 3 points in the Smythe. We could actually help Vancouver and for an effect St. Louis. Well, we can help Vancouver maybe win the division if we can take down Chicago twice. Buffalo's won the division easily. Boston second. Toronto will end up third and in the playoffs. Yeah, Minnesota and Kansas City are not making it. Montreal's in, LA's in, Pittsburgh's in. No Detroit, no Washington. Toronto's got 60 points. Atlanta's got 78. And they won't be going to the playoffs. Detroit's got 64. So yeah, Atlanta. I think Toronto's got like what 4 games left. Most points they can get 68. So like whoever falls between the Rangers and Atlanta are probably gonna. Yeah, whoever falls between the Rangers and Atlanta will fourth place in our division. Will have more points than Toronto, and maybe Detroit will have more points than Toronto. Yeah, the system's broken. Goal scoring, there's 450 goal scorers. Grant, Lafleur, Leach, and Espo, with Rick Martin almost getting to 50. I don't think Goldsworthy will get to 50. He was on fire. Rene Robert was there too. Goaltending, we're fourth behind Fashion, Chico, and Bouchard. Dryden's fallen a little bit. Fashion has 7 shutouts, and Chico's got 6. Yeah, we might be playing in the preliminaries. We'll probably. We're only 2 points. We're 2 points out of Buffalo, and we're second place in our division. Fuck. Yeah, those pesky. There's too many ties. I think for us. So anyway, yeah, the final 5 games will be decided soon. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.